Hello, everybody, and welcome into another season preview show here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and we are up to the Seattle Kraken going into our Western Conference teams. We haven't had a lot of them yet come out, but mostly focused on the East. But I've got Jess here who covers the Kraken at the site as well as the Devils. But we're going to talk about the Kraken on this one. Jess, how's it going?
Good. Ready for hockey season to start.
Yes, we're talking before recording that it's been a long time. The offseason just dragged on.
Way too
So
long.
it's great. It's great to talk of hockey, and the preseason is going to come pretty fast. And you got teams announcing third jerseys, new road jerseys, all that stuff. The Kraken did that today, actually, announcing their new third jersey, which looks pretty cool. I think so. I think it's pretty interesting. So let's start there and just talk a little bit about the jersey. What did you think of it?
I mean, I've seen divisive comments that people were expecting like the eye to glow in the Kraken logo. Personally, I enjoy it. I like the glow. I like the blackout. I think it's going to be really good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I like those interesting third jerseys that not every team has one now. I mean, there are a lot of them that do, but there was one in the past where every team had a third jersey that they'd wear every so often. But you got teams that do those vintage ones. That the Canucks have the black skate that they do a lot lately, which I wish they just bring that to their new home jersey, but that's Canucks related.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, with the Kraken, we'll start with the forwards, and they had a couple new additions in the offseason. And very early, all the teams did their stuff really early in the offseason, first week, I think. So they added Freddy Gaudreau and Mason Marchment, two relative, I'd say maybe middle six guys that maybe can go up and down the lineup. What did you think about those new additions to the Kraken?
Yeah, I think that both of them being like more middle six, bottom six players, it feels like the Kraken are trying to just beef up their prospects, as if to say, and bring in these veteran players. I mean, they both have playoff experience under their belt, which is huge because the Kraken don't have a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about players like Shane Wright, who's finally now getting his first full season, and you're talking about, I'm going a little ahead of time, but with the prospects of Berkeley Catton and Yanni Newman, and they're trying to get them ready for NHL full time, it feels like these additions will be beneficial to us as a veteran presence to beef up their prospects.
For sure. And I mean, they're both guys that have scored. Like Marchment, I think, had a 20-goal season a couple seasons ago. And I mean, he struggled a little bit last season with Dallas. So, I mean, he's very physical. He's a good bottom six, gritty guy that could add a bit to that. And Gaudreau's shown in the past that he can score as well. So, I mean, guys that they're not just kind of afterthoughts or whatever. They're not over the hill. They can still produce. So they're going to be interesting to see what they can do in the forward group. All right, let's move to the rest of the forwards. And I mean, they're still a pretty good group. I mean, the Kraken they didn't make the playoffs last season, but they've got some good guys in their top six. And so what are you looking at for storylines, burning questions for the forward group going into this season?
I feel like a big question is if McCann can have another 60-point season like he did, I believe 2022, 2023, when they did make the playoffs. I know he just underwent surgery, so obviously the offseason is going to help give him time to recover, but hopefully he can, produce the points that he kind of was able to do a couple seasons back. Matty Beniers, he seemed to be in a bit of a slump. If he could, pick up the pace a little bit, I'm sure the Kraken would appreciate that too. And then Capo Caco, it's going to be his first full season with the Kraken after they traded Will Borgen for him. And just we've already seen how he meshes with the team once he was traded, and he performed really well. And so now it's just going to be, can he do that from beginning to end?
Yeah, I mean, Beniers, he had a bit of a down season, like you said. I mean, and he signed that big extension, and everyone's kind of like, well, he's not really living up to that contract. He's really young. I mean, he's still got a ton of ceiling in the NHL. I don't think anyone should be panicking about Beniers. Yeah. McCann has been a bit in the trade rumors, even though it seems like they're the team that they're not going to trade him. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that's still a big part of the team. And like you said, he's not very long ago, he was, a 30 goal scorer, right? So he can do it. And I know he was a Canuck way back when. Yeah. And I didn't like that they traded him because I think he was a heck of a player back then. And he's turned into a really productive goal scorer, which I kind of thought was going to happen with that shot that he's got. And I just wish he was doing it with the Canucks, not now with the Kraken. So, I mean,
Seattle,
still very good. Yeah. Still a very good player. So I don't think they'll be trading him. He'll be still a big part of the team. All right, let's move to the defense. And they only saw one new addition, and that's Ryan Lindgren, coming from the Colorado Avalanche. He only played not even half the season. He was at the trade deadline, mostly with the Rangers before, and was a really effective defensive defenseman, I'd say more. What do you think his addition will do to the blue line?
Yeah, again, I feel like the Kraken just want to beef up their prospects. They're training their prospects because they have Vince Dunn and Adam Larson as a set pairing. They have Brandon Montour and now Jimmy Alexiak together as a set pairing. And then they have Josh Mahura, who they just re-signed, and Riker Evans, who they just re-signed, who are younger-ish players. And now adding in Ryan Lindgren, it feels like they're just adding in more veteran presence to really train the younger players.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was really good with Adam Fox on the Rangers. So, I mean, he can kind of pair with a more offensive-minded defenseman. I don't know who right now at some point, but I guess I'll just see where he'll fit in. But, yeah, I think he can really add to the team. Again, he's not overly veteran. I mean, he's still veteran, but he's not really old. So, I mean, I think he can still add a lot to the team as well.
Yeah, I say veteran very loosely, not so much age, but more like NHL experience.
Yeah, for sure. Not a prospect. That's
no.
Rest of the defense. What are you looking at for questions, storylines for that? Because again, the Kraken didn't make the playoffs, and defensively they weren't the best at times. We'll talk about their new coach eventually here, but what do you think for the defense? What stories are there?
I mean, like I said, they have the pairings, it feels like, set, but perhaps maybe changing up those pairings. I know they don't really want to break away from Dunn and Larson, but it maybe giving them a new line partner might change their playing style and actually add to the defense. And the Kraken certainly need it.
Yeah. I mean, those guys, they've been in the past. They made the playoffs a couple seasons ago. And I'd say the defense it has changed. I mean, you've got some bigger names in there. Like Montour's a big part of that defense now. I think, I don't know, arguably I think they're a better defense than they were back then. But, I mean, they didn't make the playoffs. So I guess they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes because, again, a new coach could change things up and how the system goes. So We'll see about that. Now, goaltending, it is one that, I mean, Joe Decord kind of took over as a starter last season, or maybe even the season before that.
A little bit before that.
And then you got Grubauer, who's still under a pretty big contract. What do you think about the goaltending, Matt Murray being added in there as well?
Yeah, I mean, Grubauer last season, as anyone who was following the Kraken even a little bit now, he didn't have a great season. They sent him down to the AHL for a couple games, and it helped him, I guess, boost his confidence a little bit. But once he came back to the NHL, he still wasn't really performing as he should have. Matt Murray, I think he's probably going to be in the AHL for most of it because they did just lose one of their goaltenders in Elias Stezka, who signed overseas. So if Grubauer can't, get his act together, I guess, for lack of a better term. Matt Murray could potentially see more NHL ice time, but he did only play 2 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but it's the Maple Leafs, so I can't really say much. But yeah, I feel like he just needs, maybe this offseason, I'm sure he's training, I'm sure he's doing everything he needs to do, and hopefully he'll come back swinging, but it's a big question mark about how he'll be.
I mean, it's good they got Decord, who's kind of broken out as a starter now, and he's really good. So, I mean, Grubauer and Murray, it'll depend, I guess, who is playing, but who in training camp looks better. Yeah, because Murray is another one. I think they're probably in the same boat. I mean, Murray's been a guy that used to be a really good starter in the NHL and has kind of fallen off that, and Grubauer was the same. So, I mean, I think it'll depend, I guess, who is on their game right now.
Exactly.
To see who's the backup, I guess. So. And I mean, Grubauer is still under the big contract, so we'll see how that goes. All right, now we talked with the head coach. They changed coaches again because we talked on the preview last season. I can't remember who I did it with last season, but we talked about their new coach, Dan Biosma, who had 1 season and he's done. They get rid of him and they hire Lane Lambert, who was previously head coach of the New York Islanders, not last season, but the previous season to that. He takes over as head coach. What do you think about the hire and expectations for him going into the season?
I mean, it feels like the expectation is make the playoffs at the end of the day. I mean, Dave Haxtell, he had 3 seasons. His first season, the Kraken didn't do too hot. Second season, they made the playoffs. And then third season, they kind of slumped again, didn't make the playoffs. Haxtell's out. Then Biosma comes in after 2 seasons in the AHL coaching Coachella Valley, who brought Coachella Valley to 2 Calder Cup finals. So, he had experience with some of the players and, championship experience with the AHL, thinking, okay, bring that to the NHL. It didn't pan out in their favor, and 1 season and he's gone. So it feels like Lambert is going to need to get wins and get to the playoffs if he wants to keep his job.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, especially when they've taken out, they fired one guy after 1 season. It's like, how long of a leash does he got? I mean,
exactly.
Don't make the playoffs. Is he going to be gone too? I don't know if that's the right way of doing things.
Exactly. I mean, 5. It's going to be their 5th season, and they're already on their 3rd head coach, and just doesn't seem like they know exactly what they're doing in the head office up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ron Francis is no longer the GM. He's promoted. I guess he promoted himself. I don't know how that works. President now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it kind of new management kind of goes. It's Gaudreau, right? Jason Gaudreau took over, and he was previously with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I believe it was the Tampa Bay Lightning as assistant GM. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of moves he kind of makes. It'll be interesting to see if he does want to keep the coach after this season if they don't make the playoffs. But I think he'd be given more of a leash than just 1 season. I thought Biosma should have been given more than just 1 season. But that's not what
I agree. I agree.
We'll see how long Lambert lasts.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the division. Now, the Pacific Division is a very tough. I don't know if it's very tough. It's, again, a very interesting division because you got the teams at the top. You got the Golden Knights and the Oilers are probably the 2 powers that you for sure will be there. The Kings are going to be interesting. You're not sure about them. Where do the Kraken stand? Are they in that middle part, or you still see them in the bottom as they were last season?
It's tough to say. I'd like to say that they could make their way up to the middle. I mean, again, they surprised everyone in their 2nd season making the playoffs, but I feel like they're going to end up landing at that bottom level again.
Unfortunately, it's just I mean, you never know though, because all these teams, that year that the Canucks made the playoffs, it's like I didn't expect them to be. I thought they would be wild card, not winning the division. So I mean, stuff can happen where some teams take a step back, like the Kings might. The Blues, you're not really sure. They might. So the wild card could be in there with the Central Division. It's going to be interesting, I think, with the playoff mix. I mean, the Kraken could. They have a lot of talent. And if all kind of works with the new coach, you never know. So, but I do see them probably around there too. But
as long as they're not last.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think the Sharks are still there. The Sharks are still.
Unfortunately for San Jose. But...
Yeah, and the Ducks. I mean, the Ducks are emerging. They could be an interesting one. But I think the Kraken are probably maybe inching towards the middle, but not there yet. I do agree with you there. Okay, let's go to our quick fire round. These are all quick couple sentence answers for these. So first one, biggest question mark or storyline going into this season for the Kraken?
I feel like it's got to be the head coach. And can he get the team to where they need to be?
Yeah, especially when they've gone through now 3 and already very early in their tenure as a team, which you don't really want. You want to be like maybe one for a long. What was the Nashville Predators had Barry Trotz for their first? I don't know what it was. It was crazy. He was the only coach for a long time when they started in the league. I don't know if that's going to happen for any of these expansion teams. Seem they're a bit less patient. All right, next one, breakout stars. Who do you see breaking out this season?
I mean, can you call Kakko a breakout star? But I mean, for his first season in the league with the Kraken, I feel like he could have a breakout, if you can call it a breakout.
I don't know if Kakko has had a breakout yet. I mean, he seems to be kind of up and down, even with the Rangers. Everyone just hoping that time where all of a sudden he's going to figure everything out. I don't think he has yet, which, I think definitely he still hasn't broken out. So might do it this season. Looked very good towards after the trade. So might have gotten a good situation. And now he's got a long-term contract too, right? So
3 years.
I mean, not long-term. I guess it's a nice number. All right. Other side of it is who do you think needs to bounce back this season? There you go. We mentioned him already. Definitely needs to lead the team again, for sure. Especially in going back to his rookie season where he was really good. So, yeah, definitely. All right, X factors. Now, this can be a player. It can also be a situation. What do you got?
I feel like Shane Wright could be an X factor. He had his first season in the NHL, I believe, last season. I'm pretty sure. And so he performed really well, and I would like to see him do it again.
Agreed. That's a good one. All right, you mentioned Neiman, and he might come up here. Maybe not in this one because he probably will make the team. But do you see any prospects that might surprise in training camp and make the team that we're not really expecting at this point?
Yeah, I mean, the big question mark is if it's going to be either Newman or Berkeley Catton. Both would be great to keep your eyes on. It just feels like Newman might make the team before Catton, especially with the way that the Kraken seem to want to train their prospects to the last possible second. It seems like he might have another season in the WHL since he can't play in the AHL just yet. So I feel like they're going to be players to watch or prospects to watch, but it feels like Newman might have his time in the NHL sooner rather than later.
He looked so good at the end of the last season there. I mean, I was seeing him in, like, you're doing the game recaps, and I was like, his name keeps coming up. So, I mean, it's like he was scoring a lot. I think he probably has a spot on the team, but you never know if they think that maybe he does need some more in the AHL. I don't think so. I think he's good.
I mean, obviously, like you said before, training camp, it's all going to be the deciding factor. But based off of how he has been performing, it feels like it could be his time.
Yeah, I agree. All right, now the Kraken have a ton of prospects. I mean, they've loaded up their prospect pool a lot more than a lot of other the Vegas Golden Knights. They just traded them all away. But they've built up a really good prospect pool for a team that's only 5 years, going into their fifth season. So many to watch, but who should everyone be watching, but specifically?
I mean, especially like I just said, if they don't make the NHL, Catton's going to be one to definitely keep your eye on. Newman, if he's in the AHL or if he doesn't make it into the NHL, then he's one to keep your eye on. And then I would keep my eye on O'Brien as well, who they just picked up this draft class, 8th overall, I believe. I would keep another left wing that they picked up. But again, I would keep my eye on him and see how he develops going into the next few seasons.
Yeah, I mean, he was again. It was like the Kraken get another good prospect in there. There's just so many to name. Just look up the top 100 prospects that just came out. There's a lot of Kraken on there. Just take a look at any of those guys that are on that list, because there's a few of them. Definitely lots of good guys coming up. All right, this might be an easy one. There are some teams that are easier than others, but who do you see leading the team and scoring this season on forwards and defense? You can go break it down by goals because it might not be the same player.
I feel like scoring, if it's forwards, I keep bringing his name up, but I'd like for it to be either McCann or Kakko.
Yeah.
I mean, McCann, if he could, get back to where he was in 2022, 2023, that'd be great. But it feels like it might be Kakko if I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
And then for defense, I feel like Brandon Montour is gonna lead the scoring again, because he was a great offensive defenseman this past season. So it feels like he's gonna be just great again.
Yeah, he fit in really well, like right away on the team. And I mean, he was great with the Panthers offensively too, but he just continuing it, and he's become their top number one defenseman now. So yeah, definitely. I think he would probably lead the defense. And forwards, I mean, yeah, Kakko could be a guy. I mean, that's probably what the Kraken want, especially when they acquired him. So definitely he could do it too. All right, last one, and I love the bold prediction. So what do you got for a bold prediction or a hot take for this season?
As I kind of said before, I think Newman's going to make the roster over Catton. I keep seeing different comments on like social media and say, oh, Catton's definitely going to make it into the NHL. But I look at what they did with Shane Wright and how they kept him in the minor leagues for so long until he was ready for the NHL. And it feels like they're just going to be doing the same thing with Catton. And after how Newman already performed with the team at the end of last season, like you said, it just seems more natural for him to slide into that fourth line spot.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, Catton is he's so young too. Like you said, he can go back to the WHL.
Exactly.
I mean, and I don't know if he's ready or not, but we'll see how he does in training camp. I really like him as a prospect. So I really hope that he does make it, but I also like Newman too, because he was surprising though. I didn't expect he was going to hit so 100%. Quickly. But yeah, I think he probably has the inside track right now, even though Catton might have the higher ceiling in the future. All right. Well, thanks, Jess, for coming on, talking the Kraken. Should be an interesting season. They've got a lot of young talent that could actually inject themselves into the lineup at some point. Maybe not this season, but a very interesting team to watch, even though they didn't make the playoffs last season. They only made the playoffs once in their 4 years in the league, but they've got a bright future. They've got a lot of good players still on the team, and we'll see if they can maybe crack back into that Pacific Division conversation that they were. Even for 2 seasons, it seemed they were kind of in the mix. So, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Make sure to check out everything at thehockeyriders.com. We've got great coverage of previews content already on the website. We've got the Substack as well you can take a look at, and all of our other season previews and all the stuff that's coming up, which training camp and preseason, lots more content to come. So make sure to check all that out. But until our next preview, we will see you next time.